You can only become what you're capable of becoming. I heard someone say this the other day, I don't remember where, but they were talking about how you can only become what you're capable of becoming, in the sense that only what is within your powers, within your reach, is actually attainable. Everything else is basically like a pipe dream, and for you yourself would be impossible for you to achieve it. And I think initially my default response to that was actually, well, that's not true. You can become anything that you want to become. And I was very tempted to just kind of discredit their argument and see that person as negative or lacking ambition and overall like unable to see bigger goals. But then I kind of started to think about it properly and really try to understand why he was saying that and the message that he was trying to get across. And the more I thought about it, it kind of made me wonder, does he have a point? Is it actually the case that you can actually only become what you're capable of becoming, and that maybe certain things are just too far out of our reach and we can kind of never get there with our own talents, with our own powers and our own resources? I mean, in certain ways, I always have the belief that you should kind of go for the bigger goals, go for the things that you really want to do and actually give them a shot, try and pursue them. That's always been kind of like my mindset towards anything, to be fair. But then at the same time, is that really the best advice? For example, if your friend came up to you and said they wanted to do something which you know is very far outside of their talents, outside of their capabilities, their powers, their knowledge, their resources, just very far outside of what you think would be possible for them to achieve. And there's a very real chance that they could end up spending all these years pursuing this thing that was actually never meant for them, in the sense that it's not something that they were ever good at or gifted at. Part of me thinks the great advice would be to tell them to pursue it, and part of me thinks the greater advice would be for them to actually find something that they're passionate about but is still within their realistic capabilities. Because that's the thing, maybe because they spent all these years pursuing this thing that they weren't best suited at, they weren't able to spend a lot more time on this other thing which they're 10 times better at, which they still enjoy and would 100% thrive in that field, but they just didn't go into it because they spent all this time chasing this other thing. And it kind of feeds into this idea of kind of doing the best with what you've got. So maybe like looking at yourself, understanding yourself, what talents do you have, what strengths do you have, and actually trying to be the best version of yourself, trying to do the best thing that you can with what you've been given. So obviously with the way life works, we don't all start the race in the same spot. We don't all start with the same resources, start with the same talents, the same gifts. You know, some people might be very athletic, some people might be very intelligent, some people might be very resourceful. So it kind of made me think, spending your time doing and trying to pursue something that isn't suited to the best of your abilities, isn't suited to the cards that you were kind of dealt in life, it kind of made me think, is that the best way to make the most of and to do the best with what you've got? There is a part of me that thinks, okay, maybe that person never pursuing the thing that they were meant for. And I say that very lightly because I don't necessarily think that we're meant for certain things, but there are things that we're actually a lot more suited to than others. And I'm just thinking about how much of a shame it would be to never realizing the full potential of what you were suited for could have been. Because I genuinely think that if you're good at something, you should kind of see it through. You should kind of try and see where that thing could go. Obviously, you don't have to. We all have free will and we're all free to live life how we want to live it. And I think we should do that. But at the same time, I also think, why not make the most of our abilities? And on the one side, there's also part of me that really believes in that sense of being able to do anything that you want to do, being able to do anything that you put your mind to, even if like initially it doesn't seem like it's very much suited to your abilities. You can kind of work your way towards it and kind of force yourself into a place where you're actually a lot better than anybody who was ever gifted or talented at that thing because you worked so hard at it. And I think that's a beautiful thing, doing it simply because you believe in yourself and you love that thing and you just want it so much that you kind of force yourself into a place where you're actually now very much suited for that thing, even if you weren't in the beginning. I think that's something that isn't necessarily black and white or easy to have like an answer to. So I think I'd be interested to know what you guys think about it and what you guys think of that statement. Is it actually true that you can only become what you're capable of becoming? So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that, what your opinions are, and yeah, keep sharing your stories, man. As I mentioned in my previous videos, they're actually very inspiring. Whenever I read them, it helps me out and it helps other people out as well. So let's keep on doing that. But thank you very much for watching the video up until this point. Make sure to like and comment, subscribe. That's obviously if you want more videos like this. But yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.